This is from James Hendy. He's asked some good questions. Love your YouTube videos with Lee. Can you do me a favour and ask him, how do the pros keep their skin looking clear of acne? What does Lee do for maintaining nice skin? Do the pros use antibiotics, probiotics, sunbathing? Also, what pro had the worst skin from Lee's experience?
Well, to be honest, I never do nothing to my skin. I've never had bad acne, and I guess if you've got bad acne, you're probably still young and got hormones and taking too much test while you're young. So yeah. I don't know any pro that took any type of antibiotics or stuff, because really out of all the pros I'd see them backstage, none of them had acne or bad acne scarring or anything. So I guess some people are just susceptible to it over others, but generally, like I said, the ones who I've seen had bad acne were amateur athletes or even just young kids, like between the age of 18 to 22, just taking way far too much gear, and just with their hormones already getting high at that age, just created a lot more acne on them than normal. Or then you might have the ones too to get acne / when they train they sweat a lot, you get the sweat pimples and leave their wet shirts on all day. So it's one of those things. But no, never out of all the pros have I seen anyone that had super bad acne where it's just like, oh god, look at that. I've seen it more on, like I said, young kids in gyms where I train now, and that you see young kids in tank tops and acne all over their back, and they don't have a towel on the bench. You're like, ugh, that's gross. But no, with the pros, never really seen that many. Hardly, I can't even remember one off the top of my head that I'd say had bad acne all over them. So no. No.
And you generally you just, when you do sunbathe, you tan sort of...
yeah, you go out in the sun. They always say salt water is good for your skin as well. So if you go to a beach somewhere and get a bit of salt water and sun, it's meant to be good, but then you can't get too much sun unless you've got sunblock, because then you get skin cancer. So you wouldn't really be worried about the acne if you had skin cancer. So it's like a catch-22, so that sort of thing. But no, like I said, it's always just the younger kids on too much drugs that I've seen with the really, really bad acne.
So just wind it back a bit, kids.
Exactly. If you're young at that age, if you're between 18 up to 22, 23, 24, you shouldn't really be taking tests anyway, because your hormones should be high enough. Your high test levels should be enough for you that you don't need to be taking that shit. So, but like I said, you can't tell them. They're going to go on the internet and tell me different. So what can you do?
And what age were you when you first started taking tests?
I would have been in my 20s, because I first started just using stuff like Deca and Dianabol and that type of stuff when I was 19, when I turned pro at 20. So yeah, I was never, like I said, even in my younger times when I took tests, I didn't really like it. It wasn't one of those things where I took it and went, oh wow, that's a great drug. For years and years I never used it. I just preferred the Deca, Primabol and stuff like that, Dianabol. So yeah, test wasn't really one of my favourites at all. When I was in my 20s, early 30s, I tried to pretty much steer clear of it because I just didn't feel great on it. So, and that time I did take when Thing told me at the time they used 800 Trevor from Nuclear Nutrition, I felt shit. Like after 2 or 3 weeks, I just cut it back to 400 again, because at 800 I just felt weak, felt like crap, just didn't feel like going to the gym. And when I cut it back, I felt good again. So I think some people, drugs react different with certain people, and like I said, I just didn't like it. So.
And how old were you when you did the 800?
I would have been mid-20s, 25-ish, 26. So yeah, just to give it a go. And like I said, because he's always like, Lee, maybe if you use a big amount, you might get bigger. But like I said, after a couple of weeks, I just felt that shit. I just cut it back and then pretty much just stopped it altogether. So yeah, I think, like I said, people are going to have their favourites and what they like to use and don't use. But test was never, like I said, one of my favourites at all. Never was, never has been really. But as I get older now, maybe a little bit here and there might be good as my natural levels decline. So.
But I know everyone's got to say he's lying.
Oh, they always have, so yeah.
Wasn't it recently? I remember it was like a year or so ago that you had your test levels measured on the off chance you might be able to get prescribed, but you're at 2 high.
Yeah, well, when I've taken the pain pills, my test levels went down, because they do that to you. My test level was like 2, so I'm like, oh great, I might be able to get it prescribed. But once I come off with the pain pills and went back, it was 29, and not long ago, because normal here is between 8 and I think 26ish, somewhere around that range. So mine was 29, so I was over, so I couldn't get prescribed test. And only a couple of weeks ago I had my blood work done again, and now I'm at 46. So There you go. I still won't be able to get him prescribed, so yeah, I've always had a natural high one from a young age, so but still to be at 46 was pretty high considering 26 or around that 28 range is normal, so I'm 20 odd over normal, but that's why I don't really prescribe to taking it, just didn't want it, but when it was down low I thought I might be able to get it, but now I can't.
Yeah.
So as long as it's high like at the moment I'm fine, so all good.
And would you recommend, say, for a guy to go and get their levels?
I would. I recommend people, if you're in bodybuilding, drugs or not, just if you're, like I said, just due to diets, if you're having an off-season diet where it's high in fats and everything, sugars and stuff, and then contest diet if you're using stuff, then it's always just to get it done every 6 months, you know, contest versus off-season, just eating lots of protein and stuff, just get all your levels checked, cholesterol, liver, kidney function, everything, just to be peace of mind. So once every 6 months I think would be good for bodybuilders to go get done, but sadly they don't. They go years and years without getting it done, so but I'd always recommend it. And that way too, if you are on a cycle, you can see the difference between being on a cycle and off a cycle. You can compare your levels on everything while you're on and off, so it's always good to get done, but like I said, a lot of people won't.
And did you notice your levels fluctuate with different diets? Like
not too bad. The only thing you notice more might just be liver and kidney functions could be a bit higher when you're on something, because, you know, just working different that way and putting different stuff in. Cholesterol, sometimes, weirdly enough, when I was off season eating lots of bad food, would sometimes be lower, so I was always up and down, but no, nothing like, never had like super high, drastic high cholesterol, so even now it's below normal, so just, I think it's one of those things, a lot of it too is just genetics. Because I've seen people who can eat clean food, salads and fish, and their cholesterol's through the roof, and I know people that eat bacon, sausages, and their cholesterol's below normal, so a lot of it's just, you know, in your makeup from when you're born, so it's just in your DNA, so.
And which myth video was it when you were eating the KFC and you were saying, oh yeah, my cholesterol's only
I think it's one of the reality ones, wasn't it?
Oh, I can't remember, but yeah, you had, for what you ate, you had
normal. Yeah.
That was your secret.
Exactly. Yep.